The passage is primarily concerned with which of the following. So this is a primary purpose question or main idea question. Remember, when you analyze the choices, try to not to fall for those choices that focus on something very specific mentioned in the passage, because a best answer choice usually will cover as much as possible of the passage. Second, when you evaluate the choices, okay, even though one of the choices seems very likely, you need to justify every single word that that affirmation has. If there is one of the words that you can really find no support for in the passage, then move on. You need to find another one. Okay? But be careful, don't fall for those that are too focused on something very detailed, or something that is only concerns a minor portion of the passage. Well, please do your job. We analyzed in the previous question, right, that the passage is primarily concerned with the possibility of life on Mars. So these two paragraphs discuss several discoveries that have been made over the past few centuries, right? And the passage concludes that recent findings actually support claims that there was once life on Mars. But scientists are still not certain. So look for the choices that have extreme words, because you need to be able to defend those words if you think they are the correct. So disproving a widely accepted theory. What about that? Actually, the passage never intends to disprove the theory that there is life on Mars. And it is also too extreme to suggest that this is a widely accepted theory. There is nothing in the passage that can prove that. So, two words for which we don't have any support in the passage. What about the second choice? Initiating a debate about the possibility of life on Mars? This one looks like tempting because it's relatively neutral. But the passage doesn't, seek to initiate a debate. It is more concerned with documenting the findings, that have to do with life on Mars. In other words, this passage is presenting findings that frame a debate. It's not initiating the debate itself. So, cross out. What about presenting evidence in support of a controversial claim? The passage presents evidence in support of and against the possibility of life on Mars, not just in support of. So it is too limited to suggest that the passage is mostly concerned with presenting evidence in support of life of Mars, in support of life on Mars, because it considers both possibilities, that there is and that there isn't life on Mars. So just in support of, not enough. At least this would totally dismiss the information in the passage that shows a possibility that there is no life on Mars. Okay? What about the last choice? Option E. The problem with this choice, although the affirmation might seem factual, is that it's too specific. It mentions a Mars rover's opportunity and spirit, but it's inaccurate to suggest that the passage is primarily concerned with these two rovers. Okay? So detailing the findings of these rovers is not the purpose of the passage. So we're left with the one choice you favored, describing the various discoveries made concerning the possibility. And when we say concerning, it means it could be in favor of or against that possibility. Both sides of the question. Okay, good job.